This is really these are the things that we really need to think about as we're designing. This goes to the core principles of designing with accessibility in mind. So we're going to run through these, but I'm going to talk through this just a bit. Font, right, is not just what font do we choose, right? But how many fonts are we using? Chad and I looked at a cover of a magazine the other day, and I think we counted 7 or 8 fonts on the cover of this magazine. Makes it really hard to follow what you're supposed to be looking at, right? And then font size. There are no requirements within WCAG that say what the minimum font size is, unless it's an image of text. But making sure that you've decided that maybe footnotes, your minimum is 9 point, or that your body text minimum is 11 point. The National Federation for the Blind has some guidelines of their own, but you'll find if you look up on the internet minimum font size, you're going to find every organization has that says something about it, has a different kind of bent on what is appropriate for them. And then language can mean many things. The way that you speaking in plain language and being able to write with accessibility in mind, but also the ability to understand different languages. So if you have a document that's multilingual and you've got disclaimer paragraphs in Spanish and Russian and Navajo, I've been seeing a lot of Navajo lately, that you're able to tag that content appropriately, so that if the person using their screen reader has that language pack installed, then it will be voiced correctly. They have to have the language pack installed. So if you're testing a document and you want to know if it voices correctly, you'll need to install the Spanish or French or German or whatever the language pack is that you need in order for you to hear it, right? Color blindness, we've talked about that quite a bit here already. Color contrast, having the right, being able to discern the background from the foreground or one element from another, using color as a differentiator. Chad just talked about that. Structural relationships, when we're talking about headings and lists, and how many levels deep do you go with a list, right? What is good practices? Now, for me, I say that if I have to go 3 levels deep, I might need a heading somewhere. If I have to go in 3 levels, then it probably means my first level bullet could probably be a heading, and then underneath, subsequent. I try as hard as I can to have no more than 2 bullets deep, but that's my own personal preference, because I know as a screen reader user, the list level gets voiced every time they move from one level to another. So hearing list level 1, list level 2, list level 3, list level 2, list level 3, back and forth is a really, it creates I call it mental gymnastics, right? It makes you really have to concentrate on what you're listening to be able to understand the structure in which that they're trying to relate. Of course, text as images, we design things in Photoshop and in Illustrator and output them to PNGs and JPEGs and all sorts of other image formats that cannot be read by assistive technology without descriptive elements. So understanding when to use actual text and when to use alt text, that's very important. We're going to cover that. Formulas, and of course, tables. How do we deal with complex tables? And then, of course, images, making sure that we have the proper image descriptions. What's enough? What's too much? How do we go through that? And we're going to walk through some of that here in this content.
So here we'll talk about program barriers, right? So these are barriers within the programs that we use every day, right? And you guys know I'm a huge InDesign fan. Word is a very good application as well, but there are other applications that are not so good. You can see up the top, we have listed the Office applications. Of the Office applications, Word and PowerPoint are arguably the better of the options available. Excel works. I'm going to put an asterisk on that one. Excel, as amazing as Excel is as an application, the tag structure sometimes it just blows my mind. But you can make an Excel document accessible, but the level of effort is a little bit increased. But PowerPoint and Word do a pretty good job. The Adobe applications, of all the Adobe applications, we have one tool that gives us accessibility features, and that's InDesign. Canvas, not so great, right? Canvas does not allow us to create accessible PDF files. Neither does Google Sheets or Google Docs, not without the addition of a plugin. And Publisher is notoriously bad as well. So common program issues, like what are the issues that we're missing from a program that doesn't give us the tools we need? Well, if they don't allow you to set the structure tags, that's a significant limitation, right? Word and InDesign do a very good job. PowerPoint kind of does it automatically, but we need that capability. Inconsistent, I'm going to say inconsistent tag and reading order, right? Because JAWS and NVDA is leveraging the tag order in our document. And if I can't control that, that's a limitation. Table formats and structure. Tables are considerably beneficial elements, right? The beauty of a table is that it allows you to get across a lot of information in a relatively small area. And when a table is structured correctly, a user can make logical sense out of the content of that table. But if it's not structured properly, it can be
a nightmare.
What's the word? Thank you. I'm trying to be kind here. Yeah, an absolute nightmare. And then, of course, Canvas, Publisher, what you're going to get is no tags available. I always say, like, this is the kiss of death. If you open a PDF file and you see that message, no tags available, it basically means that you've got your work cut out for you, right? You've got some work to do.
There are just a few days left to join our live Designing with Accessibility in Mind online training course. This 3-hour intensive is led by industry experts Chad Chilius and Dax Castro. Our interactive class will provide answers to design questions you've been struggling to find answers for. Join our IAAP certified document accessibility experts as they help you learn accessibility best practices and share tools that will elevate your accessible design process and speed up your workflow. Attendees get a certificate of completion that can help validate your skills at your next performance review. And we make our classes affordable enough that even the small teams and individuals can get the training they need. Learn how to use the right color combinations to free your creativity while maintaining accessibility compliance and consideration for colorblind-friendly design documents. Empower yourself or your team and get all 3 hours for one low price. Still not convinced? Our students can't stop talking about our classes and the new skills they're using to make their content more accessible. Will you register or miss out? Visit accessibilityunraveled.com and register before it's too late.